Is it recording? Thank you. Okay, so now first we're going to talk about male reproductive system and then the female. Now, the male reproductive system has a scrotum. A scrotum is basically a sac-like organ, okay, which houses the testes. A sac-like organ which houses the testes. Now, the scrotum is made up of smooth muscle. Can you guys tell me what is the function of the scrotum besides housing the testes? And this is outside of the body. Yes.
Temperature regulation.
Temperature regulation. Okay. So basically, it's smooth muscle. On a hot summer day, okay, the muscles will relax, therefore expand the scrotum, and it will be taken away from the body, therefore to release heat. And on a cold day, the muscles will contract, therefore to generate heat, and it will be pulled towards the body, trying to absorb the heat, the core heat. Okay. Why is this temperature regulation needed? If it's not, then basically spermatogenesis, which is maturation or formation of sperms, is not produced or does not occur, okay? Because it needs optimal temperature. Now A in the image is supposed to be this. Okay? This is testes. Now a male has two testes. In the fetal life, okay, the testes were actually within the abdominal cavity. And when they're born, okay, so in the fetal life, the testes migrated down and enter the scrotum. Now, if they don't, okay, basically they have up to a year for them to migrate down. If a testes is undescended, okay, that could actually cause cancer. So the testes that is not descended, have not descended by the time the child takes birth or even within the first few months of life, if it hasn't descended down, that testes is increased chance of getting cancer. Plus, even the testes which had descended properly in regular time or fashion, even that testes is prone to or increased chances of getting cancer.
It takes long or something?
So let's say a child is born and within a year, okay, it should actually 90% of the children, their testes have descended, or the boys by the time they're born. If they don't, they still have a few months. If it doesn't, then basically there has to be a surgery where the surgeon has extracted and placed it. But it increases the chance of getting cancer. In that testes plus the one that did descend normally. Testes is a place where we have sperm production. Okay? Now, this part is a cross section. As you can see, here's the testes, and within these testes, you see these coil structures. Okay? And we have taken this coil structure and we have just extended it. This is seminephros tubules. Semi. So the testes is compacted with seminephros tubules. This is the site where sperms are produced. Okay? B is this vessel thing right on top of the testes, is epididymis. 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 Now, this is the site, once the sperms have been produced, they go and they are stored within the epididymis. Okay? And when it's time to ejaculate, the testes doesn't release them. It's the epididymis that releases the sperms. Okay? So once a testes is done making the sperms, they go enter the structure which is called epididymis. And this is where they're stored. There's some final maturation process that also occurs within the epididymis. Okay?
And what did you say,
Seminephros tubules are these coiled structures found within the testes. So this is the site where the sperms are produced. So within the testes, where? Within the seminephros tubules. Now, C is vas deferens. vas deferens or ductus deferens, yes.
Did you see that epididymis also stores the sperm?
Yes, stores, its main function is to store sperm, but there's also these final maturation process that occur. Okay? Now, C is vas deferens or ductus deferens. This is a vessel that transports sperm during ejaculation. Okay, so when it's time to ejaculate, sperms are released, and it basically travels this vas deferens or ductus deferens.
So it's a transport system, you said?
Transport vessel.
Okay.
It's a vessel. It's a hollow tube. E, so as soon as this vas deferens enters this part of the gland, now it's called ejaculatory duct. So up to here it's vas deferens. Once this part of the vessel is found within this other organ, okay, it's actually called ejaculatory duct. Okay? And again, it's a transport vessel for the sperms. Here's H. H is the penis. Okay. In males, penis is the erectile tissue, plus it serves as a site for the urethra. So it's erectile tissue, and it serves also the site for the urethra. Okay. Any questions so far?
You said the ejaculatory duct is what now? I'm sorry.
It's also a transport vessel. So when it's time to ejaculate, sperms are released by epididymis. They travel up the vas deferens or ductus deferens, and then go through the ejaculatory duct, and it's released. Then it goes through the urethra. Now, when we talk about the semen is composed of two stuff. Besides sperms, what else does the semen contain? Other fluids, okay? So composed of sperms and fluids. Now the sperm is only 10%, and the 90% is all the other secretions of fluids. The sperms are actually the, what is the function of sperms? This contains genetic material, right? Needed for fertilization, correct? Sperms are needed for fertilization. Sperms are the structures or cells that actually contain the genetic material. The fluid is there to protect and nourish the sperms. Yeah. So the rest of the semen, okay, is there to protect and nourish the sperms. So the fluid part of the semen is made by the following organs. So you have seminal vesicle, which is F in the image. So we have, the males have two seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicle secretes fructose, which serves as energy. Okay, it acts like food for it. So seminal vesicle secretes fructose, which is source of energy for the sperms. Then there is prostate, which is G, the prostate gland. The prostate basically secretes two substances. It secretes, what color is semen? Right? So prostate secretes a milky fluid. The milk, it's more alkaline in nature. Okay? So a milky white fluid. Milky white fluid. The fluid is alkaline, meaning it has a high pH. Okay? Why is that there? Why is...
To counteract the harmful acids.
So the vagina is acidic. if there was no prostate secretion, then basically as soon as the sperms come in contact or enter the vagina, that acidic nature would destroy the sperms. Therefore, it's a protective. It's there to counteract the acidic environment. Second thing it secretes is prostaglandin. P-R-O-S-T-A. Prostaglandins. Now the prostaglandins are there as soon as they come in contact with the female genital tract. They actually cause the vagina to basically contract in a rhythmic fashion. Okay? Therefore, to allow the sperms to move upward. Because when the sperms are released, actually they cannot swim for the first 4 to 6 hours. They're immotile. Therefore, the prostaglandins cause the female genital tract to start contracting. Therefore, the sperms can move upward by that contraction. Okay? Third one is D, which is bulbo-urethral gland. Bulbo-urethral gland. It secretes mucus. The mucus acts like a lubrication during intercourse. Any questions so far? Now, this is basically, we have taken the seminiferous tubules, one of it, and we have done a cross section, and you could see this is seminiferous tubule. This is one seminiferous tubules right here, some of the one, third one, fourth one. Okay? Now, location of the seminiferous tubules is within the testes. Function, this is where spermatogenesis occurs. Spermatogenesis occurs, the process where sperms are produced and mature. A is the lumen, which contain actually mature sperms. Sperms, okay? Mature sperms are called spermatozoa. Or spermatozoa. Or spermatids. Spermatids. Spermatozoa, spermatids. B are Leydig cells. Or you could call it interstitial cells. Now this is the interstitium. The interstitium is connective tissue that separates one tubule to the next. It's a connective tissue. So the cells that you find within the connective tissue are called Leydig cells or interstitial cells. Okay? They actually produce testosterone. These Leydig cells or interstitial cells produce testosterone. Okay? So do you guys remember which hormone would stimulate the Leydig cells to produce testosterone? Gonadotropin releasing hormone indirectly. It doesn't actually go travel to the testes, right? So which one?
GH and FSH? Or FSH?
FSH and LH. Which one? LH. Okay, FSH actually does sperm maturation, while LH actually causes, it stimulates the Leydig cells to produce testosterone. C is what did I put there? Oh, A. Okay, A is basically, sorry, A is mature sperms, the spermatozoa. C is the lumen, which contain the mature sperms. Okay? So A were actually the mature sperms, the spermatids, the spermatozoa, which are found within the lumen. So C is actually lumen. Okay? So these were mature sperms, the spermatozoa, which is found in the lumen, and C is actually pointing to the lumen. Does that make sense?
So A was mature.
Spermatozoa. Spermatids, spermatozoa, which are mature sperms, which are found within the lumen. D is precursor cells. Precursor cells for sperms. Precursor cells for sperms. Do you guys understand what a precursor cell means? Yes? No? Precursor cell means these cells will go through the process, they will mature and become the sperms. Yes?
The word sperm itself isn't already plural.
What do you mean?
Like, instead of saying sperms, I think it's just sperm. I think it's already plural. Already plural. Like looking it up in the dictionary, I don't even know if it has the S in the end or not. So I was just asking.
So a single one is sperm or sperms. So, precursor cells for sperms. E is Sartori cell. Sartori cell. Sartori cell, okay? Now, Sartori cell basically, it protects and nourishes the developing sperm. Protects and nourishes the developing sperm. Now, FSH actually stimulates the Sartori cell.
Is there only one Sertoli cell?
No, there's more, but there are less, there's more lading cells compared to Sartori cell. In this image, you only see one, but FSH stimulates the Sartori cell. Therefore, the Sartori cell can do its function. Okay. Now we have actually even enlarged or taken a closer look at the seminiferous tubules. Here is the interstitium. These are the precursor cells. Here's the lumen with the mature sperms. Okay, we have just taken one segment of it. Now, spermatogenesis, a process that actually forms sperms. Okay, a process in which sperms are produced. It occurs within the seminiferous tubules. A are spermatogonia. Spermatogonia. These are immature or they're precursor cells. Okay, they're different type of precursor cells. In the previous slide, I just said precursor cells. But as these cells are going closer to lumen, okay, they're maturing. They're a step further, but they're not mature yet. They're still considered precursor. Now, in this image, you could identify the different precursor cells. So this precursor cell, which is actually closest to the interstitium, okay, they're called spermatogonia. Spermatogonia are diploid. What does diploid mean? Two, meaning they have 46 chromosomes. Spermatogonia have 46 chromosomes. Now B are primary spermatocyte. Primary spermatocyte.
And you said that all of this is located within.
Seminiferous tubule. So this is a seminiferous tubule. Okay. So this is the previous slide, right? The next image only shows you this much. Does that make sense? So the next slide is we have enlarged this portion, and now you could see the cells more in detail. Now, spermatocytes are again 46 chromosomes. They're diploid. So spermatogonia and primary spermatocyte are diploid cells. Meaning they have 46 chromosomes. C are secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocyte. Now they're haploid. Okay? Meaning they have 23 chromosomes.
Is that an H or a T?
What?
H.
Oh, H, haploid. Now D are spermatid or spermatozoa. And they are mature sperms, and they are haploid, meaning 23 chromosomes. So one spermatogonia, okay, one spermatogonia will split up and make two primary spermatocytes, which will further divide into 4 spermatids. So one precursor cell in males tend to produce 4 sperms. Okay? Now, going from A to B, okay, so going from A to B, you have diploid and then you have diploid. Therefore, it's mitosis. The process that occurs is mitosis. Because mitosis produces diploid cells, cells with 46 chromosomes. And the second one, going from here to here, now you produce haploid cells with meiosis. Now, we went over mitosis, but we didn't go over meiosis, right? Now, the reason I say it this way is meiosis actually has 2 nuclear division. It has meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 is exactly the same as mitosis. Meiosis 2 is now where you produce, so meiosis 1 produces diploid cells. Meiosis 2 produces haploid cells. So the reason I put mitosis here is because that's what we went over. But to now correct it, now since I explained meiosis. So this actually, because it's the same thing as mitosis, same exact process, but because this is germ cells, mitosis only occurs in non-germ cells. In germ cells, it is actually meiosis, but it's meiosis 1. Okay? And where this one is meiosis 2. Does that make sense? So the reason I just said mitosis first is